Everyone. My name, Good morning, everyone. My name is Betty Ann Buitt, and today I am going to talk about self care. So, one of the first things that I want to talk to you about is that self care is not being selfish. Actually, self care is learning how to love ourselves. There's a wonderful book by a woman named Louise Hay, and she was someone who, in her own life, had to learn how to love herself and care about herself, and she wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. And it's all about how we learn to love and appreciate ourselves and take care of ourselves. And for some of you who are visual learners, you might find that very helpful. So, today I'm going to talk about different ways that we take care of ourselves. I'm going to talk about different modalities of wellness, including physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and even nutritional health. Um, One of the first things I want you to remember is that self care is very individual. For each one of us, the way that we take care of ourselves really depends on what our needs are, and that it is not the same for everybody. So, for some people, self care may be something where they need to it's maybe more individual. But for others, it may be the fact that they need to connect with others. And we're going to talk about how it looks as we go along. So, one of the first things that I want to let you know is that in my practice as a counselor and life coach, I am often talking to clients about self care. And in fact, through the time that I work with clients, there is not one point that I don't actually bring up self care. And I feel it's one of the very most important topics that we can talk about in the 21st century. So, what does it include when we talk about our self care? For some people, it includes their physical health. And it could be as simple as getting outside and going for a walk and connecting with nature. It can be activities like yoga. It can be even gentle stretching and strength exercises. It can include things like Zumba, Tai Chi. It could even include doing your makeup or your hair. And it can also include things like if you feel like you need to dress up, maybe you need to do your nails, maybe you need a nap. So, self care can be that we need to look after ourselves. And it could even include outdoor activities like gardening. So, one of the first things that I want you to remember is that your self care is going to be about you and for you. When we think about our mental health, it could be about things like learning and creating new things. This could include writing for some people, which also can include journaling. And for some people, part of their self care means that they need to do a journal every day. So, one of the things around journaling that I talk to people about is a gratitude journal. So, it might be in the morning, you think about three things that you're grateful for, or you do it at the end of the day. It might include things like positive affirmations, ways that you feel good about yourself, or things that you need to say to yourself, or about things that you've accomplished. It could include reading. Some people really enjoy reading a good book. Some people enjoy reading the news. Puzzles and games are ways to kind of help to stimulate ourselves mentally. And for some people, it could be painting or crafts or even card making. For some people, it's watching shows on TV and documentaries, and for some people, it's learning new languages. So, in terms of your mental health or mental stimulation, it really is dependent on what you need. For emotional self care, it can include things like talking to friends, It can be connecting online or on the phone. It can be talking to your family or with your children. Some of your mental health could also be including spending time with your pets. And for some people, that is very, very important. One of the things that I like to do is I try to FaceTime with my granddaughter at least once a week. And that is part of my self care. Spiritual could include things like prayer for some people. It could include practicing their religion. For other people, it includes positive affirmations, and it could also be connecting in nature. For some people, being out in nature and really connecting with the environment is a spiritual practice. And so around that, I'm going to give you a little simple idea. And that is that it's called my five senses. So the next time you go out in nature for a walk, I want you to try to see if you can experience it through your five senses. And so it's, what do you see around you? Looking at the sky, whether it's the trees, whether it's birds outside. What do you hear? So, what are the noises? Maybe it's a squirrel going by. Maybe it's the birds chirping in the trees. Maybe it's a plane flying overhead. What do you taste? Did you have a drink of water? Maybe you have lip gloss on. And what do you touch? Maybe you're touching the ground. Maybe you're really sitting down and connecting with the earth, and you're feeling the softness of the grass and the hardness of the ground. And what do you hear, taste, touch? What do you smell? Maybe it's the beautiful fresh air. And maybe it's just being around in the lovely smell of the new plants that are coming up. Maybe it's some flowers that have already started to bloom in your garden. um, so it's, what do I see? What do I hear? What do I taste? What do I touch? And what do I smell? And it's going through your five senses and really trying to experience nature through that. And then at the end of the walk, you might say to yourself, now, how do I feel? And maybe you feel relaxed, calmer, happy. And so part of emotional health is also making sure, our own self care is making sure that we identify with our feelings. What's going on for me today? Am I feeling tired, hungry, thirsty? Am I looking after those basic needs? But maybe I feel sad, frustrated, angry, or annoyed. But what happened? Where is that coming from for myself? So, really becoming aware of that for yourself. Other ways of spiritual practice can be for people lighting candles, can be smudging, or it could even be meditation and mindfulness. Through our social health, it is, things like, are we going to connect through social media? Are we one of those people who need to use Facebook or TikTok, Snapchat, or Instagram? Or we are a person who really just needs to talk on the phone? Is that how we connect? And in terms of our nutritional health, maybe we like to do things like cooking, baking, herbs, using herbs in recipes, trying out new recipes, having healthy snacks. And that could include making sure that we have like 3 meals a day. For some people, part of their self care is going to be to follow a schedule. I usually work through Monday to Thursday. I have a regular schedule of when I see clients. And as a result of that, what happens is I have a regular schedule of when I have when I wake up, between 7. I try to do some light yoga and stretching, but not every day. And I definitely take my dog for a walk, who in the background you can hear is talking right now. Also, then, I have breakfast at a certain time, and I'm trying to think about, what am I eating? What am I putting inside my body? What's happening for me there? And one of the spiritual practices, but also a physical practice for me, is to have a cup of tea. And so, that's very important to me, and it helps to relax me. And then Usually I work from 9 to 12 and I take a lunch hour from 12 to 2. And during my lunch hour, I might go for a walk with my Lily girl. That's my dog. And also, I'll make sure that I try to have, a fairly healthy lunch. And then I work from 2 to 5. And then I usually have a supper hour. And then I work from 6 to 8. Now, for some people, they might think that that's a long day, but I chose to do that so that I could have a 4-day week. And that works for me. The other thing around self care is that some people actually like to do chores. They like to have a house that is clean and tidy and organized. But what I really want you to start understanding about your self care is that it's individual to you and that you have to say to yourself, what do I need? How is it going to be for me that I feel good about myself? Because we are really going through a difficult time. As a planet, even as a province, as a town, as a country, we're all going through very trying times. And so I say to you that if each day you could try to give back to yourself, and it could be just trying to give back, at least a half an hour to an hour every day. And so remember that your self care is self love. And I'm going to end this session by reading you a little poem that I got years ago when I was in my Master's of Education program in counseling. And it's by a woman named Virginia Satir. And she was a therapist herself. And she was kind of what we would call, a guru, a teacher. And she taught many of us about ways to work with people and, in particular, families. So it's My Declaration of Self Esteem by Virginia Satir. I am me. In all the world, there was no one else exactly like me. There are persons who have some parts like me, but on one adds up, no one adds up exactly like me. Therefore, everything that comes out of me is authentically mine because I alone choose it. I own everything about me, my body, including everything it does, my mind, including all its thoughts and ideas, my eyes, including the images of all they behold, my feelings, whatever they may be, anger, joy, frustration, love, disappointment, excitement, my mouth and all the words that come out of it, polite, sweet, or rough, correct or incorrect, my voice, loud or soft, and all my actions, whether they be to others or self. I own my fantasies, my dreams, my hopes, and my fears. I own all my triumphs and successes, all my failures and mistakes. Because I own all of me, I can become intimately acquainted with me. By doing so, I can love me and be friendly with me in all my parts. I can then make it possible for all of me to work in my best interest. I know there are aspects about myself that puzzle me and other aspects that I do not know. But as long as I am friendly and loving to myself, I can courageously and hopefully look for the solutions to the puzzles and for ways to find out more about me. However, I look and sound, whatever I say and do, and whatever I think and feel at a given moment in time is me. Um, this is authentic and represents where I am at in the moment in time. When I review later how I looked and sounded, what I said and did, and how I thought and felt, some parts may turn out to be unfitting. I can discard that which is unfitting and keep that which proves fitting and invent something new for that which I discarded. I can see, hear, feel, think, say, and do. I have the tools to survive, to be close to others, to be productive, and to make sense and order out of the world of people and things inside of me. I own me, and therefore I can engineer me. I am me, and I am okay. And I hope that you're all okay out there. We are going through a very trying time. So it's so important to love yourself and love others. And with that, I'm going to sign off saying, I send you love and light and let you go. I send you light and love and let you go. Take care. and be safe.